Hello and welcome to this episode of Demystified as we explore home cooking in a modern world. Hello, I'm Linda and I'm here with my friend Paul. Hello Paul.
I'm laughing. This is take two, people.
Take two. We did our second most brilliant podcast. And the sound
Well, that's easy
work.
to say now that no one can hear it.
That's right.
So
That's right, and no one can hear it.
yeah,
So hello.
Friday fun one.
Friday fun one.
I don't feel like we've got anything to talk about because we just talked about
what
it
we
all.
just talked about before. Well, I did bring up the fact that I had remembered the first meal
Oh yeah, that's right, you weirdo.
that you had, because we were talking about reheating food, and then we were looking for a topic, and I said I have one, and this was the topic, was that I can remember the first meal where I had been with you in the restaurant, eaten in your restaurant, and I said, this is so good, my husband's coming in, he's been away for a few weeks travelling, do you do takeaways? And you said, oh, not normally, but I can, and you put together the meal, and you had very specific instructions on how to heat it, which one to heat first, in which order, and how to then serve it up. And it was so good. It was so fantastic. And I followed the instructions implicitly. And
Of course you did, because your recipe following is outstanding.
no, it wasn't a recipe I had to follow.
Eggs,
It was just
salted syrup.
It was just
Do I need to go
it was
on?
just instructions. So it wasn't an actual recipe.
Yeah.
It was just heat one for 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Heat two.
Yeah, sorry,
And
I'm being mean.
when Dougie sat down to eat it, he loved it. And I said, what do you think? And he's like, you didn't cook this. I'm like, what? How can you tell? He said,
But
no.
you got to love Doug's honesty.
Sometimes, no.
Yeah.
He could just lie. But it was so good. And then we got talking about how through the pandemic
Yeah,
in Melbourne, and probably around the rest of Australia, but particularly in Melbourne when we were in lockdown for such a long time, a lot of restaurants turned to that as their income source. And how fantastic. And we were wondering whether that was going to stay.
yeah. Well, and it was really good. But the point being for us and for our audience, or some of our audience who have combi steam ovens, was and a lot of people have been sold off the back of like the ability that a combi steam oven has to regenerate food. And it's a weird word, right?
Well, also this idea that it's cooking everything on one tray.
Yeah, I know.
You know, all that
that's
sort of stuff.
Yeah, but
That's a different thing, but
different topic.
It's
But
like, well, I don't know.
certainly the regeneration part of steam is like super beneficial. Like really does work. You probably would think that, yeah, okay, well, how can that help? But it really does
Really
work.
does.
And a prime example was today. Yesterday you ordered dumplings for 500,000 people. And there was some left over today.
It was a simple mistake.
Yeah, there's
a simple mistake.
yeah, communication broke down. There was a few leftovers today, so what we did was we had some crispy dumplings and some steamed dumplings. So I fired up the combi steam oven for you and Penny and did the regenerate, the
And they
crispy
were fantastic.
regenerate. Yeah, and it works. And particularly around, it's already hard to reheat food that's been cooked, right? But food that has been fried, in particular, I find is very difficult to reheat. And I would suggest most people are like me, you turf it. Like you don't keep your leftovers.
Well, not fried.
Yeah,
No.
not fried, because it's almost like, how do you reheat that well? But it works. Like
Well, you did. I actually thought you were cooking them on the stovetop, and I wondered because I know you're prepping for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I thought, and when Penny had come in and asked you, I thought, oh no, and because she was going to put them in the microwave, and I'm like, no. But they came out of the steam oven, and they were as hot and they were as good in the combi steam. They were as hot and as good as they were yesterday.
Yeah. So it is. You know,
It was fantastic.
Like I say, it's a added bonus to what we know is a pretty good cooking tool already.
Yeah.
You know, and I've said for a long time, and I've done a lot of cooking demos in front of a lot of people. It's a microwave killer, combi steam, for me.
Yeah.
Like I find it very difficult to find a use for a microwave. I mean, I've got one in here because I had to do some microwave recipes, but there are only a handful of things that a microwave can do that your combi steam oven can't. Now, everyone comes to me and says, like, oh, I use it to reheat my cup of tea. Mate, make a new cup of tea, seriously. But, like, okay, so, but microwave is a true convenience product, I think. Like, it is a true, it is just providing some convenience. But I think if you are using your microwave to reheat leftovers, and look, we all are guilty of cooking way too much. I'm exactly the same. You cook way too much for your audience, and you have leftovers. Why is it that they can't be? They're not going to be as good as the day that you cooked them, but why is it that they can't be at least better than what you would get out of a microwave? And that's where steam comes into it. I mean, something braised, so what you're going to go home with today, something braised, you could quite easily, and if you wanted to make your life easier, I actually think I'm going to change the way I'm going to tell you how to do this, but you could quite easily just throw it on steam and reheat it that way. Now, yes, in theory, you could throw it in your oven and reheat it that way, but what you're going to do is reduce the stock, that the braising liquid, too much. It's going to get too powerful as the flavour goes, probably too salty. It's a really high temperature. You're probably going to get some crisp on the outside, which you're not looking to do with this particular dish. So I think it's really well worth just not forgetting, if you've got a combi steam oven, just don't forget, you've just got to apply the right functionality. So, breads and things like that, obviously if you hit them with steam alone, they're going to go soggy. So use a combination mode, dry heat and steam together. And generally I would say a high level of steam. So you want quite a bit of steam going in. So if you have the ability to select a high, medium or low or a percentage, select a high-end percentage with a high temperature, and you'll get your bread back, your deep fried items, whatever it might be. Anything crispy that you want re-crisped, that's really good. And things like bowls of rice, pasta, any of those other sorts of things, steamed dumplings, just go with steam. Reheat them with steam straight up. And it's like... we use that a lot. I mean, a lot of people say you're not cooking it again. You kind of are, because you're putting it under the pressure of heat, like the ingredient or the bowl of pasta as an example. But if we take a bowl of fried rice, it's probably a really good example. People have leftover fried rice, that get some Chinese takeaway or whatever. You've got some leftover fried rice. The next day, you stick it in the microwave and you hear it. It sounds like it's popcorn, right? And then you give it a mix, and it's kind of cold in the middle and like lava on the outside. It's, and that's where you have problems with, food poisoning and all manner of stuff. While your combi steam oven isn't as fast, because of the efficiency of steam, you're going to get a more rounded, better reheat, and it will be heated properly. All the way through. Yeah. It will be heated properly, so it's therefore safer. Yeah, because it's microwave's fault that you don't heat it up properly. No, because people are constantly used to, like, show me one person that owns a microwave that looks and consciously makes an effort to change the wattage input of their microwave to what they're heating. You can do that? Yes. Everyone goes... I never knew. It's just on, full, for how long? 900 watts, 1100 whatever watts. Whatever it is. And when it's like lava, you're like, oh, that'll do. Yeah. Actually, in realistic terms, if you want to reheat... Do that. If you want to reheat with a microwave, what you're better off doing is dropping the wattage significantly in your microwave. So most microwaves will have a wattage capability anywhere between 80 or 90 and up to 1,000 watts. No. Yeah. Okay. I mean, some will have less capability, but most come with the capability of being able to. So consider the watts like a temperature on your oven. You can turn it down and you can turn it up. Who knew? Yeah. Who knew? So if you are reheating in your microwave, drop the wattage down and just reheat it for longer so that it gets hot all the way through. The problem is this microwave works on extremely high amounts of energy, and it's energy, on the outside. And you're hoping to penetrate, get that outside energy, which is heat, into the middle, and you're hoping that penetrates through the food, which is why you get such inconsistencies where the outside is
burning
and the middle's cold.
Okay.
So if you drop the wattage back, you have lower amounts of energy, and it's transferring over a longer period of time, which means you get more even heat or temperature through your
who
food.
knew?
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, some more useless information. I know
I know
exactly what you're going to do when you get home. You're going to go above the fridge, start playing with the microwave, going, can I drop the wattage on this?
Yeah, I never even thought of it. That microwave that we have would be 20 years old.
I still reckon it will probably have the capability to...
Well, the car that I bought it with, I got a car and they were giving away freebies.
Wow. You've got a microwave with a car.
And the car
There's a promo for Porsche or Ferrari or
and the
McLaren.
car has not survived, but the microwave has.
Yeah.
And it just does not. We go
That's
through one every couple of
seriously-
years here, and we hardly use it.
Who's
Really, I know.
microwave with a car?
I know.
Okay, well,
I'm just saying, it's about 20 years old. The car's long gone, probably longer.
yeah.
Car is long gone, and the microwave is still there. Doesn't get much use, but it
Doesn't necessarily mean to our listeners out there that if you see a promo,
you should buy the car.
you should buy the car
just to get a free microwave.
And if someone out there can send us any information or a screenshot or something where someone is still doing that, I would love to see it. Even if it's like a second-hand car dealer around the corner, I want to know who's giving away kitchen appliances with a motor vehicle.
Well, it was a choice of 3 kitchen appliances.
Oh, wow.
I know. And this was like a really cheap little car. It would have been shorter in length than the bench here. It was just that it fitted all Dougie's music gear in. So anyway, but I got a microwave.
What were the other 2 choices?
Honestly, I can't remember. I think it wasn't. They were cheaper than the microwave.
Yeah. So you just went for the most expensive
well,
thing.
my friend...
You're a snob.
No, my friend Shane, who loves cars and was helping me buy the car at the time, he said, we're not having that, we're getting a microwave. And I'm like, we don't need a microwave. He said, shut up. And got the microwave because that was part of his negotiation skills. And it's still there. The car has long gone.
So your homework this week is to go home and see if you can figure out if it's possible to change the wattage on your 20-plus-year-old
It's got to be at least that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you can't figure it out, then I'll go over and have a look, because I would place money on the fact that
I will take a screenshot of it and rather than you coming all the way over.
Yeah. But anyway.
But who knew? I didn't know that. So thank you for that. And what's on for you, apart from the fact you've got an event tomorrow that you've been prepping for all day?
Yeah.
Today?
Not a lot this weekend. Not a lot. Sending you home with some stuff. So
I can't wait. I'm so
we've
excited.
got some. We're going to do quite a large sort of download, I suppose we would call it, of new posts and tutorials and information. So we've got some hot and sour braised short ribs. I used the steam oven to make a creme anglaise ice cream base. That's a bit of a tutorial coming up. There's a sachatorte recipe, which has been sitting there for a while, but we haven't uploaded the recipe. There's a few other bits and pieces coming. And then we'll start looking at Christmas. Yeah.
No, I think it's... and we have had discussions about you cooking an alternative type Christmas because... it's just a different thing, and
it's a different year.
A lot of people I know, for a number of reasons, pork is off the menu, and
well, I just
and there's a lot of recipes out there about that, and this is Dougie's favourite, roast of all, but
but turkey and ham and
well,
it's all
that's also pork, but lamb or other forms of meat or non-meat, but be interesting.
So we might throw together a group of recipes rather than a standard kitchen, a standard Christmas sort of gathering, we might throw together a group of recipes and I'll pick them out, and they may well exist already, or we might make some new ones. And what my focus might be is the most stressless Christmas Day cooking.
Yeah.
And there'll be some
After
work
this
involved.
year.
There'll be some work involved in the preparation of it, but all of that is designed to make it so that on Christmas Day you can actually be a part of, if you are the designated cook, you can be a part of Christmas.
Yeah.
Because everyone's had a shit year, let's be honest.
It's been
2 years.
Certainly
pretty much.
is really...
But this year's been, especially
crap.
in Melbourne, pretty...
This has been crap.
Shizen.
And so I think everyone's looking forward. I think that's a really good idea because keeping it simple, just getting together is really more important. I think the emphasis on, for us, is just really...
The importance of having ham and white wine for me on Christmas Day is pretty high.
That's true.
It's pretty
high.
high.
White wine, rosé, red, I'm all there.
Yeah.
But it's, I think this year will be more important for us.
Yeah.
It's going to be just actually seeing people and catching up and,
yeah,
just wiping off this year and saying, well, thank you. It was just, we got through it.
It's been a gas. Thanks, guys.
Who knew? Again, and let's write it off and move on.
Yeah. So we'll have a look at that, and we may well come out with something as far as we might just call it the easy Christmas. Like, who knows?
Something, yeah.
But we might put together a group of recipes. We've got information there about your favourites. We've done whole turkeys, we've done turkey roulards, we've done
I do love that turkey roulade.
Glazed hams,
That's fantastic.
So we've got the traditional stuff there as well, but maybe if everyone's feeling like I'm feeling coming up to Christmas, which is like, do I really want to put myself through an entire Christmas feast? And I'm not being lazy, but I just kind of think, and I think everyone will probably have a different Christmas this year.
Yeah,
Everyone's still a bit,
think so.
So we might just cater to what we think might work. We'll see what
for
happens.
an alternative. It's just an alternative to that full... And we have, our friend's son is in Queensland. We're not even sure that even though international borders may open, that the interstate borders will open, and he may not be able to get down here for Christmas. It just...
it's all weird.
But either way... I think you're right, so that'll be nice. And maybe we'll have to look at what Santa brings us. And we've been having some technical issues. Maybe we need to get some...
It's not the technical issues, it's the two numpties trying to run it.
Well, I do remind you when this happens that you are a chef and I am an accountant. And we are not necessarily, well trained in the art of podcasting techniques.
No, not at all.
But we've somehow managed to...
fumble our way through.
Put together over 80 episodes and all this time. So we're doing okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending today, Mr. Mountain.
It's very formal.
Well, and it is Friday and it is late. And
it is.
So happy cooking.
Happy cooking,
Paul,
everyone.
And happy cooking, everybody. And
more on Linda's microwave next week.
We'll see how it goes. I'll check it out when I get home.
Yeah.
So take care, everybody.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this podcast as we explore home cooking in a modern world. We'd love you to subscribe, and for more information, please go to our website, cookingwithsteam.com.